Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on, guys? It's Filthy and I'm back with another video. Today we're taking a look at the Patterns of Justice, which is going to be the starting set for the monk. This is going to be how to speed 99s with 800 Paragon. We probably can do 100s, I just found 99 to be a bit more chill because POJ maybe can be a little squishy at this kind of speed level because obviously we're trying to max out the DPS just as much as we can. If you are new, do consider subscribing. We're doing all the starting sets for Season 22. We're going to be doing some more build guides and all that kind of stuff before the season launches, as well as some starter guides. So yeah, plenty of content coming. As always, guys, thumbs up greatly brightens my day. Now let's jump in and take a look at POJ. So the two-piece Sweeping Wind gains the effect of every rune. I've never really been overly flig on this. Sweeping Wind doesn't really seem to do much for this build, but we do get a 5% move speed increase for every stack of Sweeping Wind. Now the version that we've got has got 3 stacks, so that's 15%, but there is another weapon you can take to juice this up if you just want to move quicker. So you can take a Vengeful Wind and you can get 65% move speed off this 2-piece. Now the 4-piece, when we attack with Tempest Rush, we basically get a 50% damage reduction, which obviously is pretty nice. You know, it's quite good to get that. We also get Spirit Regen, which is very handy because Tempest Rush is thirsty without that. So this is probably easier to play, I've always found, than the Sambuca variant. Now the 6-piece, hitting with Tempest Rush whilst Sweeping Wind is active, makes Sweeping Wind bigger. Again, I don't really see that as being a massive benefit, but we do get 15,000% damage modifier, which is pretty nice. Now, nothing's changed for this build for this season, so there's no item reworks, but we are going to make use of the 4th cube slot. So we're going to have a balance in the cube. This will give us a huge multiplier on Tempest Rush and give us 100% crit chance. Obviously super handy when we get to the boss because it means that we'll be able to blam them pretty quick. A Wankim Lao is pretty important when we hit with Tempest Rush and have Cyclone Strike. We basically get a Cyclone Strike for free and we get extra damage, which is nice. So we hit with the Tempest Rush, it automatically casts the Cyclone Strike. That's great. This is going to be a lazy version of the build. This will vortex enemies towards us. And also we're going to proc our Caesar's Memento braces with the Cyclone Strike for an extra 800% damage. So you have to hit with Blind, Freeze or Stun to get this modifier off. But on the skills we're going to take the Wall of Wind and that will basically freeze stuff for 1.5 seconds. So just the general damage is pretty nutsy. Now we're going to take a COE. This is going to help us with Juggernauts basically and potentially the Rift Guardian. So cold is our element of choice because we'll be taking Flurry for the Flurry stacks. But you don't need to worry too much about it. It's just kind of, it's nice to detonate and get extra damage on cold. We'll go through that with the skills and gameplay, but yeah, another nice modifier there. We're going to take the Echoing Fury. This gives us a 75% attack speed when it's fully stacked and 25% move speed. The move speed is nice. It kind of makes up for not taking the Vengeful Wind, which was the other weapon I was mentioning earlier for extra move speed. But the 75% is very nice on the attack speed. Because we suck stuff with the Cyclone Strike automatically, because the Caesar's Memento are always going off with the rune on Cyclone Strike, it means that extra attack speed is just absolutely great for damage on the move, and then we can detonate with the COE whenever we want, which is obviously pretty good. Now we've got Taeguk, so more damage when we channel. We also get more armor, which is nice, buffs up the toughness for us. A Bane of the Trapped, obviously everything is frozen, so this is always up, so again just another damage modifier. Juggernaut not so much obviously, but then that's where the Flurry stacks come in for us. And then Powerful, again just a bit more damage once we pop that first elite. Now Flavor of Time will give us double pylon duration, so that's pretty good for a speed build. Nemesis Braces for extra progression, again perfect for a speed build. And then we've gone for Mantle of Channeling, as we say in the 4th cube slot, 25% extra damage just generally and damage reduction. This one has been reworked actually, so we used to have a 1-second delay on this and it's now instant. Rorks make up the bonuses and that just leaves us with the Zodiac to push the cooldown. So whenever we hit with Tempest Rush, we basically get 1 second off our skills at random. Very nice because we're trying to keep up perma uptime on Epiphany Desert Shroud for 50% damage reduction. We do also have Mantra of Salvation for extra toughness, which obviously does help with that as well. So if we don't have this up, we can use this one. But also we get Blinding Flash, which is more damage. So Zodiac does help us out. Again, we'll go through the skills in a sec. And lastly, we've got the Crimsons, always a staple when I make these builds because it's just so good. So we get extra cooldown, extra resource cost on the 2-piece. With the 3-piece, this is more damage and more toughness, which is nice. We're going to take toughness gems, so all res gems in chest and trousers, buffing us up for the toughness, and then cooldown gem in the helm, which obviously is more damage because of the Crimsons. Now, in terms of stats, cooldown you want to get because you're looking for the Epiphany. you're looking for the extra damage for the Crimsons. Double crit obviously is quite nice, and then area damage is also pretty good, so if you could pick it up, I haven't bothered rolling it on here, but that would be something you probably will have on your push build. The Wankumlau rolls with lightning. I have tried the lightning rune, it's just nowhere near as good as the cold. It's fine at a certain level, but when you start needing to blow stuff up with the convention, it is just nicer to have the flurry stacks. And other than that, area damage, cooldown, damage percent, obviously we want cold on braces, cold on amulet if you can't get it, a bunch of double crits and crit chance here, all sweeping wind damage, and then Tempest rush damage, getting confused, Tempest rush damage here, crit or Tempest rush damage here. So that probably covers gear and stats, I think. So let's have a look at the skills. Tempest rush flurry. Now as we hold this down, this builds these stacks up, and whenever we let go for a split second, they detonate. So the idea is that you don't need to worry about this in general. It's just if you get to a nice big juicy group and you see that you've got cold up, you can click your blinding flash and that'll detonate it, or you can just let go of the button. Either which way, it's fine. Now as I say, Juggernaut, you will need to manage a little bit, but for the rest of it, it is fine. Now blinding flash, when we left click this will drop our stacks and detonate them. We also get this extra 29% damage after using blinding flash, so you don't have to blind the enemies. You don't need to do that, but it is extra damage. Again, it helps us out with the Guardian, helps us out with Juggernauts. Sweeping wind, we don't really care about any of these. I don't think many of them are particularly useful. It does drop off sometimes if you don't hit enough, so it will keep itself sustained provided you've got targets. But if it drops off, just press it again, absolutely no problem. Mantra of Salvation is here for toughness. We gain 40% extra all res, which is pretty nice. We can pop this as like a bit of an oh shit button if we need some more toughness, which is nice, particularly if we've got Desert Shroud off. Now what I would say is Elemental, obviously does cause us a lot of problems at 99-100 level, so if you are standing in Electrify, because this is a close range build, you might want to press this. But I mean, I don't think we use it too much in the footage, but it is there if you need it, and it'll stop you maybe proccing your cheat death, because obviously that's never good on a speed build. And then Cyclone Strike, Wall of Wind, this obviously applies to freeze. Because of the way the build works, we vortex enemies towards us, they get frozen, and they just get absolutely crunched. Beacon of Etar, 20% more cooldown, just helpful for Epiphany and more damage from the Crimsons. Relentless Assault, 20% more damage against blind, frozen, or stunned enemies. Everything is frozen pretty much except for Jugs, so 20% more damage is nice. Harmony, 40% extra all res. Basically, whenever we get any gear pieces with secondary resist, like, let's find one there, so fire resist on that, we get 40% of that value added to our all res, which obviously is pretty nice. And then lastly, cheat death. I mean, I did play a little bit with this off, but realistically for gem ups, you don't want to lose a gem up, so I would probably take it. But by all means, you can swap that out if you want. Now, in terms of gameplay, just get into the Rift. You want to pop your Epiphany and Sweeping Wind when you get close to an enemy. You're then going to Tempest Rush, and pretty much everything will get sucked towards you. You only really need a very small amount of flurry stacks to detonate a pretty decent sized group of enemies. Doesn't have to be on cold, but as I say, Juggernaut, Rift Guardian, if you can do, then that's fine. Now the only issue really that you can run into is your flurry stacks dropping. If you whiz around really quick like this, there is a bug where they can't drop, so particularly on the Guardian, you just want to do a kind of nice big circle like this, and then these stacks won't drop, and then you just basically left click, and there you go, that would have been a detonation. So hopefully you can see from the footage, this thing absolutely dumps out damage. It's super chill to play. It's got enough move speed to get the rifts done in like 2.5 minutes, which is nice. And as I say, you can do a bit more. Now, another option is to take the Istvan set, so you can stick these on the character and put the Wankumlau here. To be honest, I like this version the best, just for the little bit of extra move speed that we get. But again, maybe if you're wanting to start to go higher, you have to transition off into these weapons, because they obviously come with more damage. The extra armor is nice, but obviously you then drop in a 25% damage reduction, and you are getting 25% extra damage out of the Mantle of Channeling anyway. So I don't think it's massively better to take these, but that's what we've been doing. 99s, as I say, 2.5 minutes, pretty consistently, and this is a very strong start for the season. Really nice to get this for free. It is definitely one of my favourite sets in the game, and Tempest Rush is just nice and fun to play. So that is the build. 800 Paragon, all the footage obviously, again, gem levels not particularly high. Some of his gear pieces are okay, but again, it's nothing you shouldn't get without playing the game, up to this kind of level. So there we go. That's the build. I hope you like it. We'll be back with some more videos pretty soon. Stay safe. Season 22. I'm so excited. It can't come soon enough. I'm probably not going to roll a monk initially, but I will do at some point because this is a very fun build and I enjoy playing it. I've been a Filthy Casual. Stay safe. Take it easy. Peace.
Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now.